One of the most exciting events in recent times in space is happening right now. The James Webb Telescope has been hurtling through space and recently reached its destination, a location known as L2. L2, Lagrange Point 2, is where the gravity from the Earth and the Sun balances out. This means the telescope can hang out in space for much longer without using a lot of extra fuel, allowing the telescope to take many more pictures and make many more amazing discoveries. The goals of the James Webb Telescope are to study and search for the first stars that ever formed, study planet formation, star formation, and galaxy formation, study other solar systems, and study the beginnings of life and how to find it in other places, and to try to figure out what planets might be habitable based on their atmospheres. Why was the telescope named after James Webb? James Webb was appointed by John F. Kennedy to be the head of NASA, and he held the position from 1961 to 1968. James Webb was the head of many missions, including the first 7 Apollo missions. James Webb was super important in carrying out John F. Kennedy's goal to put astronauts on the moon by the end of the 1960s. 20 countries were involved in making the James Webb Telescope, including Canada, the United States, and a lot of European countries. The telescope cost about $10 billion. The James Webb Telescope is considered the successor to the Hubble Telescope. The Hubble Telescope, which was launched in 1990, completely changed our understanding of the universe. Pictures taken by the Hubble Telescope helped us to accurately determine the age of the universe, accurately determine the rate at which the universe is expanding, and make important observations which led to the discoveries of both dark matter and dark energy, which make up more than 95% of the universe. Additionally, the Hubble Telescope has peered into the darkest patches of the sky, where nothing seemed to exist, and brought to light millions upon millions of hidden galaxies. As for the James Webb Space Telescope, it has a gigantic 21-foot diameter mirror. The mirror allows 5 times more light, which can be used to take crystal clear pictures, to be utilized than the Hubble has. The James Webb Telescope works a little bit differently than the Hubble Telescope does. The Hubble Telescope works in the visible light spectrum, which is the kind of light we can see with our eyes. But the total light spectrum has a lot more in it than just visible light. That's because not all light is light that people can see. The James Webb Space Telescope uses light that's so red that we can't see it. This light, called infrared light, shines right through dust clouds. This makes it possible for the James Webb Space Telescope to see things clearly from a long way away that other telescopes couldn't see very well. Searching the skies for infrared light works great because almost everything emits infrared light, including humans. The Webb Telescope will be able to detect things that other telescopes are not powerful enough to detect. Interestingly, light has a speed, meaning that the farther away you are from something that's emitting light, the longer ago you're looking back in time. This is because light takes time to travel so far. The James Webb Telescope can see so far into space, it can see stuff that's 100 times fainter than what the Hubble Telescope can see, that it can see things from right after when the universe started. This means that things that either were hazy or weren't being able to be seen at all from other telescopes will now be able to be seen clearly by the James Webb Telescope. In order to take good quality pictures in infrared, the James Webb Space Telescope needs to be super cold. The Webb Telescope needs to be at a temperature of negative 233 degrees Celsius or colder in order to be able to detect infrared light. This is one of the reasons that L2 was chosen to be the location for the James Webb Space Telescope. The telescope will also be able to take a good look at nearby objects, like comets and asteroids. The telescope will be able to see objects in our Kuiper Belt, which is the area past Neptune that we weren't able to see so clearly before with the telescope. Shortly after the James Webb Telescope was launched and made it into outer space, it started to unfold an antenna which will send pictures back to Earth, a kite-shaped sunshield made up of 5 layers and 18 panels that's the size of a tennis court, and gold-coated mirrors that are used as wings. The unfolding of the antenna, sunshield, and mirrors was very complicated, but NASA pulled them off without a hitch. The James Webb Telescope uses its sunshield to block heat and light from the sun, earth, and moon. Each of the 5 layers of the sunshield is so thin that it has the width of a human hair. And now all we have to do is wait until early summer for the incredible new pictures and discoveries to start streaming back. At the time of this video, the James Webb Telescope just arrived safely at its location in L2. There's a link to the James Webb Telescope tracker in the description. I'm really excited for the new exciting discoveries that the James Webb Telescope will make, and I hope you are too. See you in the next video!